Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and thanks for joining me today. Today I want to talk about people doubting us. And sometimes those can be the people close to us, just people in general, maybe their coworkers, maybe their family, maybe their friends, or maybe they're complete strangers. But they can be very difficult and makes it hard for us to have confidence in ourselves and believe in our own dreams if there's other people around us telling us they're never going to come true. For me, I faced that my entire life. From the time I was a small child growing up, I was constantly told that my dreams were ridiculous. I was never going to succeed in all the goals I had and the things I wanted to achieve. It was just a constant theme throughout my life. So fortunately for me, I was able to build a really thick skin to that, and I was able to turn it around and use it as motivation. But I know it's really tough, and sometimes it gets you down, and it can cause you to doubt yourself. So one story that stands out to me in particular was, and this was when I was near the peak of my powerlifting career, and just a couple years before I broke the world record. And I'd already won my first world championship and done quite well, but I had a lot of injuries during my career. I mean, for people who know me and have followed me know that I've torn about every major muscle group there is on the human body. And but this was my quad tear. I tore my right quad. And for those of you that are curious, the video is out there and it's not that hard to find. But if you're squeamish, don't look it up. But so I tore my right quad squatting, and I was in my garage, and this was back in January of 2008, and I was squatting in my garage. I remember that it was like 8 degrees out that day, and at that time I didn't heat my garage, and that's where my gym was, and I didn't really care. I just was out there squatting, and honestly, I don't think the cold had anything to do with my injury. It was just I was pushing my body to its limits, and that's what happened. And but I was on the 10th rep of a completely raw set of kind of narrow stance squats with I think I had 555 pounds in the bar, and I was banging out a set of 10. It was just like a work set, and it was on the last 10th rep coming out of the hole. I come up out of the hole, and I just felt my right quad let loose. And for anyone who's torn a muscle like that or larger tendons, it sounds like a pair of blue jeans being ripped in half. That's exactly what it sounds like. So I feel it let loose. I hear this tearing sound. Fortunately, I dumped the weight off my back really quickly, so I didn't get sandwiched underneath the bar or anything. But dump the bar hits the floor, I fall forward, and I'm expecting to look down. The way it felt and the way it sounded, I'm expecting to look down at my thigh and just see like this big femur bone and all my muscle wadded up at my hip. Unfortunately, it was deeper and the muscle was underneath, and it didn't look that bad initially, but I couldn't even stand up. I kind of crawled back over I was filming it, crawled back over the camera, shut it off. And then my training cycle had been going so well, and I knew I had a big pro meet coming up in the summer. Super excited about everything. So it was just more than anything, it was just frustrating. And for me, I never saw that as like the end of my career or not being able to come back from it. But it was frustrating because I knew there was going to be some rehab time. It was going to take a few months to get back, even where I was, and then hopefully get stronger. But it was just going to be a pain in the butt. But the funny thing was, after I posted the video, online trolls and haters were all over it. Everybody was talking about, what an idiot I was, how I trained stupid, I didn't know what I was doing, and basically how my career was over, that this was finally the injury that was going to stop me, and Kroc was never coming back. There was one post in particular, and the guy wrote like 2 paragraphs and went on and on about, what a dummy I am and all this stuff. But what I really remembered was he emphasized how my career was over, I would never come back, and the very last line of what he wrote said, "Stick a fork in him because he's done." And that definitely stuck in my mind. And so throughout the whole rehab process, in which I to be honest, I came back fairly quickly. I was active right away. I was walking on it as soon as I could. Started back with light weights. I remember being at work. I was working in retail pharmacy at the time, and I would stand in the corner of the 2 counters with a hand on each side, because initially I was on crutches, and then I would lower myself down with using my hands to help, and then push myself back up and just trying to do a body weight squat at first. And then once I could do that, my body weight, got back in the gym, empty bar, then 135, 225, and then worked my way all the way back up. And then that summer, so this happened in January. In summer, there was a big pro meet out in Iowa in July. And I had already entered it, and I was determined no matter what, I was going to be there and I was going to compete. And the whole time, that through the whole training cycle and coming back and everything, and I kept thinking about, stick a fork in him, he's done, his career's over. And I just kept grinding, kept pushing. That really motivated me. And that meet came. It was a pro meet. I ended up lifting in the heavyweight division, and I squatted 1,014 pounds, which was my personal record. And that was 6 months after a pretty severe quad tear, and came back. I was better than ever, won the meet, made a little cash, and more than anything, silenced my doubters. And for me, that was always a big thing, a big part of my motivation. But the whole point is all of us, have people in our life that doubt us. And sometimes it really hurts because it's the people closest to us. It can be our own parents, our friends, maybe even our partner. And but there's only, what I really want to communicate is there's only one person in the world that needs to believe that your goal is possible, and that's you. If you believe that and you put all the work in and do everything that's necessary, nothing can stop you. So just remember that, keep that in mind. It doesn't matter who else doesn't believe in you, just believe in yourself. All right, thanks guys. Hope you have a great day. If you like the content, comment below, share your own stories if you have them. I'd love to read about them, and like and subscribe. All right, thanks so much. Take care, everyone.